Nice try, come back again when you have some real evidence.
The Bible, certainly the dates in Genesis 5 and Genesis 11.
Oh, what? He's not going? In fact, he's carrying on with this line of, well, I want to say reasoning, but that would involve some, reason. His line of garbage. His garbaging. Yeah, that's what he's doing when he invokes the Bible in any argument that isn't about what the Bible has written in it specifically. And even then, like I said, translated to heck, so even that's not a guarantee of being correct.
Clearly add up to about 6,000 years for the total age of the earth, 4,000 BC.
Clearly? I mean, that's not clear. This graph is far too majestic for anything as mundane as clarity. Seriously, you made this video in 2021. Where in the name of all that is whiskey did you get such a 1995 looking graphic? How much is the betting that this is right out of his old seminars from back in the day? Now there's a series of videos that could give me a lifetime of sustenance and pain.
That's never been refuted. Some people don't want to believe that.
Now see, I don't want to give Mr. Hoven too much credit, but he's actually being kind of clever here, because what he just said is technically true. The biblical age of Earth as presented in the Bible does appear to be, as he said, a few thousand years old. But that's not what he means. He means that the Earth being that old hasn't been refuted in reality, which in one way, yes, it absolutely has many times in many ways, but in another, that's never been an accepted fact that even needed to be refuted.
But the best evidence, I think, of what they call, I don't think 6,000 is young, I think that's pretty old, but...
Kent, if I told you someone was 750,000 times younger than you could only come to the conclusion that they were extremely young. 6,000 years compared to the over 4.5 billion years is such a big difference it's almost comical. In geological timescales, 6,000 years is less than nothing. The young Earth creation idea of Earth is absolutely categorically young, and any other assertion to that fact is so ludicrous it borders on gibbering insanity.
The best evidence of a 6,000-year-old Earth is the Bible itself.
The Bible is to evidence as chocolate is to cement. You could build a house out of it, sure, but in the light of day the whole thing would just come crashing down. And the less said about trying to use cement as a snack, the better. I have lost more teeth than I care to admit that way. If only it weren't so delicious.
But then you can look at almost any branch of science. You can look at the science of living things, biology.
Somebody stop him! He's going to try to science. What incredibly silly / irrelevant thing is he going to say? Who knows, who cares, who dares to wonder? Answers being everyone else, only him, and me, for reasons I will never quite understand, probably because I hate myself.
And you'll see that the population of the Earth today is growing, but if you do the math and go backwards in time...
A population's density is not biological science. And for the love of God, and for the love of Christ, Ken, what you're about to say has been refuted more times than, well, you have actually. It's that dumb.
You can make everybody on the planet from 8 people getting off a Noah's Ark 4,500 years ago.
Except, that's not how anything works, Ken. Your idea of, oh, if we do the math, is completely refuted by the population numbers we have. For a large portion of human history, population numbers are relatively stable until the last few hundred years, and then they absolutely explode for reasons that have nothing to do with the Bible. Are you seriously telling me no one has explained this to you, or are you just that ridiculous a humans that you don't understand it? That or you know and you're a liar, but I wouldn't say that out loud.
But I'm certainly thinking it loudly.
If man's been here for millions of years, why aren't there a whole lot more people?
Because apparently you never studied the Industrial Revolution, which, considering it's one of the most important and, I'll be honest, boring, but it was a big deal things to happen in human history that literally changed everything about how human society works, including its ability to sustain much bigger populations. The fact that you don't know that is completely and utterly unsurprising to me, because you either didn't learn it on purpose, or you really are that dumb. I am curious which.
Population is a great indicator that man has not been here for millions of years.
Millions of years? Kent, do you bother doing any research? I mean, come on, man, seriously, it's not that difficult. Homo sapiens, as a species, have likely existed for a few 100,000 years, not millions. I do not know where you even got that number. I assume betwixt your buttocks, much like everything else you say. But yeah, they could have Because, again, look at the chart. Mankind stable for thousands of years. That's a very slow and expected population growth. Are you going to say anything in the video that isn't staggeringly wrong? Don't answer that.
When you look at the genetic load that's increasing in the gene pool of people, you say, wow, this can't have been going on for a long time, not millions of years.
The genetic load. I don't know about you, but there's only one load going on in this video, and it contains a large quantity of DNA. Kent's DNA. Talk about poop. It's poop joke. Because it's spewing forth from his mouth for literally every second that he talks. So I am, in fact, doing you all a massive favour by over-explaining it, because I am just a really lovely guy. Anyway, back to Pain.
You can look at the sun. The sun is burning up its fuel source. It's burning, and it's shrinking because it's burning up its fuel. And it is not only shrinking, it is throwing off 5 million tons a second. It's losing weight.
I don't know if that number is correct. I mean, it's you, so I kind of doubt it. I've said it before about others, but Kent's the kind of guy that if he told me that the sky was blue, I would have to go and check, then get my eyes tested, and then check again. But assuming that is correct, so what? You want us to think, oh my god, that's a big number! But in cosmology, that might as well be a grain of sand. For one thing, the sun is incredibly dense, even denser than you can. So while that might seem like a lot, it just isn't compared to how massive the sun is. It can afford to lose matter at whatever rate for literally billions of years.
Well, if your sun's been losing weight for billions of years, if you get back in time in your imagination.
Ah, imagination, where Kent Hovind gets all of his facts from. And boy howdy, does he have an active one.
The sun would be much heavier, making gravity stronger, sucking all the planets in.
You know, there was a point where it had a maximum size, right? And yeah, most of the early debris from the solar system would have gone into the sun or into other planets as they managed to find a stable orbit. That's kind of how it works. And what are your numbers anyway, Ken? Funny you say, oh, this is wrong because I say so. And yet for some reason can't provide any data to back that up. Almost like it might prove you even more the fool than life already has.
You cannot have the fine balance between Earth and Sun with it just being in the right habitable zone for millions and billions of years while the Sun's losing weight so fast.
It's not losing weight fast, Hovind, you moron. It's losing weight at incredibly slow pace from a human perspective. Like seriously, humans have existed on this planet for an absolute blip on the cosmological timescale. You could all have come and gone in a fraction of the time it takes for the amount of mass the sun has lost to actually come close to mattering. And God willing, you will be gone sooner rather than later, because damn, you are an annoying lot.
Well, you look at the moon. The moon's going around the Earth, but the moon's getting further away from the Earth. Okay? Well, that means it used to be closer.
And what's the betting that Mr. Hovind is going to miss out a really key aspect to this little moon moving fact? Not to mention again, on the old space limeys, that it's completely meaningless to anyone alive today, or hundreds of thousands of years in either direction, because duh.
If you bring the moon back in closer, you get higher tides. And at some point, you get too close and they snap together like two magnets.
Except, the moon's distance is also accelerating. Do you know what that means? That means it used to be slower. And at some point, it used to not be there at all. Because honestly, you, Kent, you ignorant baboon masquerading as a man. Who am I kidding? Any of the greater apes would be infinitely smarter than Kent. And some forms of newt.
Called the inverse square law. You can look at the stars in space, you can look at the living things on Earth, and look at the Earth itself. The Earth is spinning, but it slows down.
Well, first off, don't pretend you know what the inverse square law is. I don't for a second believe you understand how to tie your shoes, let alone shit like that. And second, all of these things moving apart, sun losing mass, Earth's rotation slowing, it sounds to me like God didn't make a perfectly balanced universe, as you and your book constantly claim. It's weird how you can't inverse square law those two ideas together and get that he's not actually real.
I give about 30 different scientific indicators for a young Earth on my seminar part 1 on drdino.com. But to me, the very best evidence that the Earth is 6,000 years old is exactly what God, he's the guy who did it, He said
absolutely nothing because he doesn't exist. And no, Ken, you are not a doctor of dinosaurs or anything else, no matter what your diploma mill qualification says. I might stop calling you Mister if you change your name to Dr. Dumbass, though, because that has a certain ring to it.
that was the beginning, when he made Adam and Eve. Matthew 19:4, Mark 10:6. So I would encourage you to read that Bible. It's never been disproven.
Neither have the Lord of the Rings books, because no one needs to, because they're clearly fiction. But just watch some shithead in 2,000 years bang on about them as if they were written by a prophet. Now, you know what? That's not going to happen unless we rewrite them in crayon and put it through Google Translate a couple of hundred times so that we can get its true meaning.
And think about it. Man, this is what it says. Maybe God is right. Maybe the earth is 6,000 years old. That's plenty of time to accomplish everything I know of on the planet if you allow one big flood in there to make the canyon. All right, thank you for joining us.
Oh, for f***'s sake, he just throws that in at the end to make sure that everyone knows he is a total idiot. Although, do you know what? I think Ken might accidentally be one of the greatest educators of all time. Because everything he says is so wrong that it actually causes an idiot like me to go look it up and actually learn something. Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel, Spoonstar Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the... So, depending on when this video comes out, about a week ago, give or take, I got a few silly comments on a video I had just put out. That's not strange, I often do, but then they just kept coming, en masse, and I'm like, what do? Turns out, the subject of the video, one Senor J. Dyer, did the big sad about my response and decided to share it with his followers, so that they would know to avoid the video and definitely not come to my channel and say very, very, very silly things. But I'm sorry to tell you, Jay, your plan backfired, and bloody loads of them turned up to say the big dumb at me. I know, who could have seen that coming? Oh well, thankfully, it was absolutely friggin' hilarious and I had a cracking good time just seeing all the silliness and responding to a little bit of it, but once it got to about 50 plus dumbass comments, assume a lot more by the time this video actually comes out, I thought I should share with you all these top tier brainer boys and their fantastic critique of my channel, my content, my arguments and myself. They really do not know who they are messing with. That's not to say that I'm so smart or I'm a big tough guy. That's because I don't take anything or anyone seriously. And the more seriously you take yourself, the funnier it is. It's going to be quite a ride. Also, just a quick note, I only went through and took every critical comment I saw. It's possible that I missed some. YouTube does like to hide them from me. And that a few non-J related ones got swept up into this absolute shit show. In which case, maybe don't come to my channel and say dumb things. That's my job. Now to start.